I had gone down to Dickey Bend and seen some dirt racing. Then they opened Skyline Speedway. So I found me a 48 Hudson, and I welded up a big old roll cage in that thing and what have you. Not for the front seat, but it was in the back seat. Hell, didn't know any better at the time. And, we took it up to Skyline Speedway, and me and another guy, we started side by side, first race, first heat, I guess. And he had a 48 Hudson also. And we come to the first turn, and he went straight out into the pits. And I'll never forget that, because them old Hudsons, they had like an overdrive in them, so they were kind of freewheeling, like you let off on the gas. The engine didn't hold it back anywhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how I got started. We run up the Skyline with that old 48 Hudson. Features, we strung the cable around there. We dug out, me and my ex-brother-in-law, we dug out the number 4 turn that had a bad soft spot in there. We dug it out with a backhoe, and we used pneumatic tampers and tamped the clay back in to keep that turn from digging out and what have you. And we did everything up there, and I built the beer tent for them on the back stretch. I guess it's still there as far as I know. Squirt Johns and Snars, Bobby Snars, he was consistent winner. Gentleman Jim Patrick come in from Conneaut, Ohio, and run a few races. He was always good when he run. Tom Dale, he was a hot shot. He come in there, back when we was running. First wrecks I had was in the number 2 turn at Stateline. I hit a car broadside. We was in a broadside sliding through there, and I hit another car because he stalled right there, and it hit so hard that it narrowed my car up a foot. He was quite a character. Yeah. Him and some guy that he hooked up with, they run a 57 Chevy with fuel injection in it. And they had a dummy in the back seat, the legs of a dummy in the back seat, with the legs sticking up, with the feet sticking up in each corner while they run the car. That was old Jughead. Yeah, he was quite a character. Mengy Dinley, yeah, I remember him. He run at Skyline when I first run up there, and he run a convertible at the time up there at the Skyline Speedway. I think it was Mad McGinley, his name. I forgot to tell you, there's one of me upside down in there.
Oh, really? I'll look for that.
Yeah, look, there's one you can see where I'm hanging, and it looks like it's the right side up, but it's actually, I'm driving a 57 Chevy for Floyd Fanale at the time, and it's in there upside down. You'll see a picture upside down, and you'll see my helmet and what have you, and recognize me. That, we cheated a little bit. It was a 57 Chevy, and we put a 348 in it with 3 deuces on it, and it run pretty good that way. It was a little illegal because you couldn't put a 348 in a 57 because they didn't come out till 58. So probably my best year of racing when I run that 57 Chevy for Floyd Fanale. I think I finished 4th in the points or something that year. That 56 Ford actually run Daytona Beach.
Really?
Kenny Johnson had that car, and Busink was the sponsor, and they run that thing in 55. It was a 55 to start with. I made it look like a 56 Crown Victoria by painting the stripes on it and what have you, because Stateline had the rule you had to run at least 3 years current car. So I made it a 56 so I could run it another year. But I bought it from Kenny Johnson, and I raced that up there.
What other tricks did you guys use during those old days?
Oh, anything you can think about. I welded up spindles and did this and that to put heavier brakes on, and it isn't like it is nowadays where you go out and buy all these parts. We were all best friends, real close-knit friends. We partied together, and on off weekends, or whatever, we had a party. Have corn roast, wiener roast, or something like that. I remember having one in my house where we went out and stole field corn and built a big old bonfire in the yard, and everybody partied after the races usually, Tom did. Yeah, he was probably the worst one as far as, he would take no prisoners. He'd spin you out in a heartbeat. But, right then we probably wasn't best of friends, but since later in the years I met him at some of the races at Atlanta and what have you, and we talk and reminisce about the good old times, but back then we were not good friends, let's put it that way. We got along together, but, if I had the chance to spin him out, I probably would. Let's put it that way. But first you had to catch him. Lots of good times up there. I never missed a Saturday night that I could remember for many, many years up there.